Hello everyone, this is Betsy from Ideas Times 2. I have a tutorial for you today. This is going to be a quick tutorial on how to make this easy and inexpensive scrap busting project here. This is a little matchbook style notepad, and so I've got all kinds of miscellaneous papers in here. Junk journal style. Those tuck underneath that little flap, and the cover tucks under the flap as well, and it's folded just like you would find a matchbook. So we are going to make one of these today. I'll show you how to do it. This is great for a little gift for someone, a stocking stuffer, to put in the journal, in your journal in a tuck, or to clip it on a page. So lots of uses for this. Stick it in your purse as well. So all kinds of things. So we're going to make this today. So super excited to find a project that is going to help me use up scraps. Alright, so what you need is cardstock for the base, and one other little piece here is cardstock as well, and that's this little, I call it an anchor piece here, and the belly band. So belly band, anchor piece, and then the cover. They're all cardstock. Obviously the rest is papers, miscellaneous papers you have, and then the decoration is totally up to you. So the first thing to do is, let me just stick that back together. The first thing to do is cut your main piece, your base. So it is 9.5 inches by 4 inches, and I have already cut that. An anchor piece for the back of your notebook is approximately 2.5 by 4 inches. You can make it wider if you'd like. I just like to make it 2.5 to 3 inches so that it fits easily in my belly band, and the belly band is about 1 inch or 1.5 inches wide this way here, and then the length of your book shortened a little bit. So that I didn't cut that yet, so I'm going to just hold it up to my book, make it a little bit shorter, maybe 1/4 inch, and then just chop it off. There we go. So that winds up to be about 3 7/8 inch. So you can see how it fits with just a little room on each side. That's perfect. Okay, so we've got these 3 pieces of cardstock. They don't have to match. They can be whatever you like. Okay, so the next thing we're going to need also is to cut some papers. So these papers are, let's see, about 3 7/8 inches square. But obviously, as you can see, I've got miscellaneous sizes as well, so you can mix together scraps. They just cannot be any longer than 3 7/8 inches, or any longer the other way by 3 7/8 inches. So, and then we're going to group them together, and that'll come up in a minute. So we're going to need, I think I have about 12 sheets in here. I counted them earlier, about 12 in thickness, but they certainly could go a little bit more, or you can make a little bit less as well. Okay, so the cardstock, the papers for the inside of the notebook, and then your decoration. So this one I just used from my paper pad. I had a piece of paper that had a striped design on it, so I just made sure it fit first. It has to come within this range here, and I made sure it fit, and then I just cut that strip off of my patterned paper. So this is just a piece of patterned paper on there. I did lightly ink the edges on this as well. The other thing I like to do is put a little piece of washi tape over the staples, or you could just put another decorative piece of paper down there as well. Alright, so let's get started. The first thing to do is to score your main piece of your cover. So let's get the scoreboard. If you don't have a scoreboard, just score it in whatever, with whatever you have, whatever you like to use. All right, so I lost, here we go. I lost my, there it is, my scoring tool. So lay the paper either side, it doesn't matter. I just do the back, especially if it's patterned, so that it's easier to see the lines as you're going down. So we need to score this. There's a tiny bit of a gusset at the top, so that's why we're going to do 3 small line or 3 narrow lines in a row. So we're going to score at 4 inches, 4 1/8, and 4 1/4. That gives us our little gusset. And then I forgot to mention, so this goes in the lengthwise at the top, and then score 4, 4 1/8, 4 1/4, and then come down here and score at 8 1/2. And that is all we need the scoring tool for. Okay, so just fold those. Fold that one. I'm going to get my scoring tool back. And this one, just give it some gentle folds. It doesn't have to be super tight or anything. Super scored. Just general lines. So as you can see the shape already, right? This tucks under here and holds our cover shut. Alright, if you would like to sew around the edges, which I thought I would try that, so I'm going to go ahead and sew around my edges and come back. I also chose this for my decoration on the cover. This is from Decorated Designer Paper. This one here, and I just tore out one of the typewriters. The typewriters are really close together, so I had to be very careful when I tore it. But I tore out a little typewriter, and I have just a square of muslin, and I made sure that they fit, and those are going to go on the front cover of mine. The reason why I mention that now is because I'm going to sew around this as well, and sew around the outside edge. So I will see you in a minute. Okay, hello again. I am back. So I sewed around the edges here. You can see it a little bit better on the reverse side. And I also sewed around my embellishment. And I'm going to set that aside for now. We don't need it quite yet. Alright, the next thing to do is get our papers organized and put the belly band on. So we're going to go ahead. I had two almost the same size. I have to make sure I got the right one. Here's the right one. Alright, so we're going to put the belly band on first so it has a little bit of time to dry before we install our papers in there. So just run a bead of glue. This is about 1 1/4 inches by 3 7/8. Little bead of glue just on the short ends. We are going to put it on so that this little flap here this part is the back. The part where this folds up, this is the back. Okay, don't glue it on this side with no little strip. I didn't explain that very well. This is the cover. This is the back. So we're going to put it on the back. And the back is the one where the flap looks like it's going to come right up like that. Alright. Still don't know if I explained that, but you got it. You got it. So this belly band, don't need to measure, just kind of eyeball it. You're going to want it about 1/8 to 1/4 inch down from this bottom score mark. And it looks like I have it about 1/4 inch. I'm going to move it up just a tiny bit. I think 1/4 is too much, 1/8 is too little. So just give it an eyeball. It's going to be just enough so that this folds without a problem over your papers. Alright, so we're going to let that dry for now. And then we're going to organize our papers. So what I kind of like to do, especially when I've got different sizes is to kind of arrange them so they're going side to side, so that they're not all lined up in at one side. I like to stagger them just a little bit. So for instance, this is shorter, so I'm going to stagger that to this side. This goes on this side, etc. So I'm just going to make sure they line up on one. This will be our top, so make sure they line up side to side and evenly at the top. And you can definitely, you know, scooch them together at the end. Just kind of keep in mind which is your top. Okay, like that. That looks like a full sheet. And I'll put the little polka dots up in the front. Okay, so that's our front top, I mean, right here. Right here, so we are gonna tap and make sure all the papers are lined up. Okay, then what we do is we're going to take our anchor piece. I've been calling this the anchor piece. This goes behind our notepad and center it, because we need to make sure it's stapled in. So we're going to center that from side to side like that. Okay, and I like to put the decorative side up, but it does not really matter. All right, so I am fortunate to have sort of a teal colored little stapler with teal colored staples. My sister Cindy gave that to me and I love it. And so when I have staples that show, this is my preferred stapler. You could also, if a silver staple bothers you, you could just use a little marker, a Sharpie marker or something, and color your staples just a little bit. You could even do that while they're in the pack, while they're in the slot for the staples. Just give them a little swoosh of color. But for now, and now this stapler has been giving me a little bit of fits, so I'm hoping it works today in front of the camera. And so what I'm doing now, okay, that didn't work. Let me try another one. So what I'm doing now is putting 2 or 3 staples up at the top to hold our notepad together. There we go. So I'm doing 3 just to ensure that our little anchor piece gets stapled in thoroughly. All right, so see if I can get this stapler to work a couple more times for me. There we go, stapled together in a nice little notepad. And I'll show you how to insert that in a minute. Since we have the stapler out, we're going to also staple along the bottom edge of our front flap. Okay, so we're going to staple it really close to the fold, and you only need like 2. Just do it really close to the fold. This gives it a little resistance so that our flap will stay shut a little bit better and keep our notebook and cover all intact. Okay, so we've got the 3 staples at the top here. It encloses this anchor piece, which is what I was after. I could have done a little better. It looks like I got a little crooked there, but it's fine. And then we have our 2 staples here in our flap that comes up around the cover. So I'll show you how in a second. So we're going to just flip these pages up to our anchor piece, insert that anchor piece down through the belly band as far as it goes, and then you've got your little score marks up here. It comes down really close to where the staples are, so that is the perfect size. Then we're going to fold this over and tuck that under the flap, and there's your basic design. Looks like that. Tiny little gusset right here in the back. You could go crazy. You could put a little pocket back here. You could put a pocket here, a little side tuck. You could decorate just this corner of this. Today I'm just going to put this on here, and I might, even though I know it's hard to watch somebody ink, I'm going to just ink my edges just a little bit. I'm not going to go too crazy. Just give it a little definition, little pop. And it kind of goes with our style, that old-fashioned typewriter. So there we go. Pretty good. Alright, so now this is going to go, now be sure to have this tucked in so that when you decorate, it's not, this little flap's not going to interfere with your design. Alright, so let's put this on. I'm excited. I think it's going to be really cute. Really cute. Okay, word to the wise. So you can see that my muslin is a little crinkly, right? That should be totally flat to make it easier to apply to my paper, but, and this is why this happened, because what I usually do is just on the inside part of the muslin, not on the outside part where you're going to sew, but just on the inside part of the muslin, I would give it a few dots of glue to hold the two pieces together, but I didn't do that, and this is what happened. I have wrinkled muslin, so this drives me crazy, but I think it'll be fine. It's not wrinkled too badly, so I am going to flip this over. So if you sew, please anchor it with a little glue, and that way it won't shift on you like mine did. But I can feel that it's not fine. There aren't any huge bumps or wrinkles in there. It was just a little off, and that kind of thing drives me crazy. And I'm gonna fold that there. So there we go. There's our little Matchbook notebook. You open it up, and the way you would use it, you could just write on it, and you can just tear off the papers. So if you want to write down further in, just untuck it from the flap, write on here, tear it off, or keep it in there. Use it as a little journal. Put a photograph right here. That would be awesome too. Alright guys, that's it. Now this one, you do not have to sew. I just wanted to mention, you don't have to sew. Just do this. This is so cute too, and there's no sewing involved, just scrap paper. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please check out our information down below where you'll find us, our blog, Etsy shop, and Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff there, and we appreciate you taking the time to visit with us today. Thanks everybody. Bye.